what's up? It's Rocky P and welcome back to my channel. As you could tell from my last video, I want to bring different elements and aspects to my channel besides just hair. This topic has been on my mind and my heart for the past 2 years. This topic is something that I felt like was not discussed enough. I was not warned about this topic before I graduated. Nobody gave me no type of heads up, and so I just want to put it out on the table, and I feel like we need to kind of dissect it a little bit more, and that is post-grad depression. I'm going to tell you my experience with post-grad depression, as well as how I dealt with it, how I'm dealing with it now 2 years post-grad. Let's just get into it. Okay, I graduated college 2 years ago. From the time that I graduated, I thought I pretty much had everything figured out. It was graduate, find a job, go to grad school. And with me moving from like a small town, my plan was to move to this big town and get this corporate job and pretty much start my career, right? I felt like I had enough internships, my grades were great. Even though my degree is in psychology, I had a minor in marketing, I had social media experience, like real world experience. I pretty much believed that I was set. That wasn't the case for me. After graduating, my plan didn't go as planned, so we'll get into that later. But first, what is post-grad depression? So I know that we've heard of depression. We know that depression is not just being sad, it's being able or unable to function. You pretty much don't find joy in things that normally bring you joy. Post-grad depression is rooted in anxiety. Post-grad depression actually begins to happen because of the major transition from like this set routine life in college to an unknown situation. When you transition out of college, you're coming out of something that is familiar, something that you've known and have done for the past 4 something years, to something completely different. And it's kind of like that first step into real adulthood, because now you're having to like seriously create a life and set a schedule for yourself. Nobody is forcing you. You have nobody telling you what to do at all anymore. You know, like we were still adults in college, but there was still a routine. There was still some type of structure and schedule. The overall framework was structured for us, right? Whether it was our classes, whether it was student work, whether it was organizations, extracurriculars, we still just had some type of schedule that we abided by. That's why I feel like post-grad depression comes about, because like I said, once you come from that into the real world, it's up to you to figure out like how your life is gonna be now. This is how I knew something was wrong with me. I had the plan that after college, get my corporate job, live my corporate life. Yeah, no. It was so hard, so freaking hard for me to get a job after I graduated. I went on countless interviews, applied for so many jobs. It took me about 3 months post-graduation for me to find a job. But before I found that job, I just started to become irritable. I was getting impatient. I was getting frustrated because I just assumed that, hey, I got the credentials now, where's my job? Yeah, I started suspecting that something was wrong with me because I was becoming so impatient and super irritable. I felt like I wasn't doing anything with myself because, like I said, I went from having this daily routine to I don't really know what to do with my life. Like I'm just waiting for someone to hire me. And even after I got my job, I was good for like the first few months, but even afterwards I still felt off, you know, like I just didn't feel like myself. My passions, things that I really enjoy, YouTube per se, I I didn't want to do it at all. I just lacked the motivation, the energy to like want to take pictures, to want to make a video, to want to reach out to a brand. Like, I didn't care. Even though I had my job, it wasn't the job that I would have preferred for my first job, but it was some income coming in. So even though I had this job, I couldn't help but to compare myself to my friends who had graduated. They graduated and had these like high paying jobs. They were buying new cars. They were getting all these new things. They just seemed more put together than I felt. That was another way that I began to spot it within myself, was that, dang, I'm comparing my life to theirs and to who I see online. And then, like I said, another way to spot it is lack of motivation. I didn't have motivation to do anything that I enjoyed. Hell, I barely had the motivation to go to the new job. I just was basically living life and was just waking up. Didn't really feel like I had a purpose. That transition really took a toll on me. Hence the long hiatus from YouTube. I just didn't feel like I had a purpose. I hope that makes sense. After working at my job for like a year, it just took, honestly, the will of God to kind of push me to want to get out of the space that I was in. So these are some ways that I have began to overcome post-grad depression. Like I said, I graduated now 2 years ago and I still feel little remnants of it, but it's way better than it was that first year after graduating. Definitely figure out a routine and begin to set some type of schedule for yourself. That's what I did in college. I lived by a planner, and I bought the same planner that I used in college to use after college. Even if it's just writing down, wake up, make bed, brush teeth. Like those small things that we don't think about doing every day because we naturally do them. Just the feeling of checking off something like that, I feel like helps create that sense of routine and makes you feel like you did something, right? So I definitely suggest making routines and giving yourself some type of schedule to live by. You might not do everything on that schedule every day, but I feel like you get some type of satisfaction of checking off that you did something for the day. Because sometimes it'd be hard to even get out the bed. Let's be real. It'd be hard to even get out the bed to brush your teeth. But if you can do that and you can check that off, you did something, and that's good enough. Another way I felt like helped me through that transition and through that time is keeping in contact with my family and my friends. Like I said, I moved away when I graduated, like immediately. Yes, I had my significant other by my side. You need different support groups besides them. I made an effort on my behalf to not only keep in contact with them, but to communicate to them that, hey, I'm feeling alone. I would love if y'all would make efforts to keep in contact with me the same way I make efforts to keep in contact with y'all, because they might think that I'm doing all fine and dandy. Meanwhile, I'm suffering. I'm dying inside. So you have to communicate like, hey, I need you to reach out to me as much as I reach out to you. I know we're busy, but we need to make time for each other. And so I made it an effort and a point to do that, and that really helped. And then if you move to a new place, find like little events in the city. I know it's hard now with COVID, but things are opening back up. Go out and kind of network a little bit. See who's around who might have a similar vibe to you. I know it's weird to just walk up to a person and be like, hey, but literally the few friends that I do have here, that's how I made friends with them. Something else that I'm discovering to help get me through post-grad depression is tapping into old hobbies that I used to enjoy. Like I said, I mentioned this in my previous video. Wanted to rediscover why I used to love those things. Going to school and like focusing on school, you kind of start to forget the things that you actually enjoy outside of that. Tapping into old hobbies, I feel like is a great way to kind of have some type of excitement about the day or your life, period. Because it's like, dang, you kind of rediscover like why you love those things to begin with. And then if you don't like those things anymore, it just gives you further reason to find new things that you might like. This is a thing that I have been so inconsistent with doing, and that's working out. Working out truly does make you happy, I feel like, because didn't Elwood say give you endorphins? If that's the case, if you got endorphins and you happy, then you can't be depressed. The math is mathing to me. For some people, it gives you energy. For me, it makes me tired. And if I'm tired, I'm asleep. And if I'm asleep, then I can't be sad. So working out, I feel like, is a great mood booster and gives you energy and can help you overcome any type of funk that you might be in. It can become a part of that routine. You know, if you're working out consistently, not only are you going to be looking good, but now you have something to add to your routine, which kind of helps keep you moving and going forward. And last but not least, this is something that I started doing in college, and that was talking to a therapist. Sometimes your friends, family, significant others, they just don't be saying what you need to hear, and sometimes you just need an unbiased opinion to bounce and vent how you feel to. So I feel like definitely if you feel like you're at a point you honestly cannot function, I think talking to a therapist can kind of help you get out of that post-grad depression funk. I'm going to actually link some resources that helped me find a therapist outside of college, or that can help you find a therapist outside of college. Don't be afraid to try to find somebody to talk to, like a therapist or a counselor. That's all that I have. I really wanted to talk about this topic because, like I said, it's not talked about enough. Nobody told me that I would be this sad when I graduated. If nobody told me, then it's my duty to tell somebody. That's why I'm here. I want to be able to have these discussions on my channel. Like I said, it's more than just about hair. Let's have some real life conversations, and post-grad depression is one of them. This is my experience with it, and my experience may be different compared to someone else's experience. Everybody's experience is different, but one thing I do know is that it does get better. You literally have to just take it day by day, and that's something that I repeat to myself weekly, like, okay, Raquel, let's just get through Monday. Okay, great, we got through Monday. Let's get through Tuesday. Just taking it day by day. And even if you might not know what you want to do in the long run, as long as you wake up and you're living and you're experiencing a new day, you're still walking in your purpose. If you got another chance to wake up, then your assignment's not done here on earth yet. You have to keep going to find out what it is you're supposed to be doing. I definitely want to continue this conversation in the comments, so please feel free to drop your experience with post-grad depression down below. And I just want to keep the conversation going, bring awareness to it, and let somebody know that it's going to be okay and that I'm here. If you ever need to talk, I'm here, okay? That is all that I have for you. Make sure to check out the description box for more details that I might have forgot to mention in the video. I will see y'all in the next video. Bye.